I'm Stacy Livengood. We're doing an interview today with Nance regarding agrarian culture for my Southern Culture class. Thank you, Mr. Nance, for doing this interview today. If you'll introduce yourself and tell us how old you are and tell us a little bit about your farming background.
I'm Jacob Nance, 88 years old, primarily young, and I grew up on a farm in Union County, North Carolina, and so with a lot of brothers and sisters. And so on the farm, the families depended on each other for survival during the Big Depression. So everyone worked, everyone had different chores to do depending on their age and their ability, And so we grew our food, and we had cotton for a money crop to buy clothing with. And so people then were mainly self-sufficient on the farm. The only thing we probably bought was coffee, sugar, salt, and pepper. We grew everything else. And so we raised our own animals, and they provided the meat that we had. So we grew our cane to make molasses, and my mother used molasses for a lot of different things: cakes, cookies, and just plain old breakfast. And a lot of them used to sweeten things. But we grew our corn to feed the animals, and then to provide cornmeal to eat. My mother would cook a great, huge cake of cornbread in a big pan, and she usually made a smaller pan, and everything about that corn was used. We shelled the corn to take them to the mill to have it ground in cornmeal for bread. The corn cobs were used to help start the fire in this cooking stove. What wasn't eaten by the family was fed the chickens, and so everything was utilized. We did not throw anything away. Mm-hmm. Everything was utilized. Same about the wheat. We'd take the wheat to the mill and have it ground in flour. So it was just a family operation there. And in the fall, in the spring, we had gathered the wheat, and we had a wheat thrashing to thrash the wheat. That was our summer deal, and all the neighbors would gather together to gather the wheat up and everything, and to help thrash the wheat. And then the women would cook, and we would have cakes. They cooked cakes and pies, and usually chicken dumplings. In the spring, there would be fried chicken. Mm-hmm. For when we have, and then you gather around at the big table and you'd eat in shifts. And so because you couldn't
You
get
said
that.
eat in shifts, you had to take turns eating?
Yeah,
Okay.
because you couldn't get that many people around the tables.
Yeah.
So in the fall, we'd gather the corn, and we'd haul it up and put it in a big circle around the granary. And all the neighbors would come in after, and they'd work all day on their farms, and they'd come in before, late in the evening, and help shuck the corn. And again, the women would gather and cook some of the best cake and apples, pies, and there was always chicken and dumplings. And they were good.
I was gonna say, they must be good. You mentioned them chicken and dumplings a few times.
Yeah, they were, and so after that, we would gather all the shucks up, put them in the barn, and they would feed the cattle. Used to feed them, and so then the bad piece ears of corn was fed to the hogs. The good ears we would feed to the stock, and the better ears we would grind and make cornmeal and eat.
Mm.
Nothing about the corn was thrown away. Everything was utilized. Nothing was taken off the dumped.
Yeah.
So
Can you tell us a little bit about, did you go to school and church, or?
well, I went to school. I went to church every Sunday, and walked 2 miles to church, and so every Sunday, and we'd walk back home, and then we'd have the afternoon off to play.
In school, you went to school every day, or
Pardon?
did you go to school every day?
Every day we catch the school bus and to school,
Okay.
and come home and do our chores after school.
Okay.
And but what are you trying to tell me?
Well, we're getting close to our time limit.
Oh,
But do you think today's farming lifestyle is a lot better, or were the modern times that you lived in simpler and better?
well, today farming is more of a corporate deal, and it's done by all done by machinery.
Right.
Very little labor goes into farming today, manual labor.
Mm-hmm.
It's all mechanized and mass produced today, and but it takes away from the family operation.
Right, like what it was
Yeah.
all based on your
It takes
family.
them, and so where we grew up on a 100-acre farm,
Mhm.
today 100-acre farm would
It's
not
small, right?
would not, you could not survive
Right.
on the,
Right.
but it's really both sides, had its good and the bad,
Mm-hmm.
and so
It sounds like you really appreciate what you went through as a child, and
yes,
that's
it
carried
does,
through with
yeah.
you in life. So